Hello, I'm Miss Mac, and this is our Brain Trainer Noggin. We welcome you to a new Early Genius video. This is the third in a series of videos concerning advanced vocabulary. Noggin and I are going to show you a quicker way to remember words and definitions taken from the top 50 words that are found on many standardized tests. In this video, we will cover 10 words beginning with the letters from K through O using what we call memory makers, which is another word for mnemonics, the art and science of memory, which is fun and a creative way to remember. Kudos K has won some awards, and Odious O uses odd and disgusting stuff for his deodorant. Both are examples of how learning can be faster and easier through pictorial association. The K through O words we have chosen are listed in a book entitled The Yummies and the Yuckies. There are 50 in all. We're going to concentrate, of course, through the letters K through O, but there are word hunts, over 50 vocabulary pictures, silly sentence starters, and even some yucky tests and some yummy tests if you want those. You might check your public library for a copy. Let's take a look at memory enhancement. There are several techniques to strengthen our memory skills. We are using pictorial association, alliteration, and something rarely used, the flavor of the word. The yummy words represented by the sun have a positive meaning. The yucky words represented by the storm cloud have a negative or harsh meaning. Since repetition is key, by the time we get to the end of this video, you will have seen the word and its definition over 5 times, making it difficult to forget. Let's preview the 5 ways. First, we have cards with illustrations, labels, and meanings. Then we look at the illustrations and select the correct label. Next, the larger version is shown across the screen with movement and color. After that, the illustrations are shown in a group. And then number 5, we have quick review, rapid eye movement. I love that. It's lots of fun and a great brain exercise. At the last, there will be an option to stop the video and take a test if you choose to do so. Now let's take a look at the illustrations, a creative way to make a connection. First, we separate our words into 2 groups entitled the Yummies and the Yuckies. The letters of the alphabet are characters that reflect the meaning or definition. On the left, we have the letters K through O, as we do on the right, the same letters. But all the ones on the left have happy smiles or positive expressions. On the right, you have frowning and angry looks and negative expressions, and those are the Yuckies. Even if we forget the definition of the word, we will remember the flavor. For the Yummies, it's the sun. For the Yuckies, it's the storm cloud. This flavor will help us get the correct answer on a test. We will begin with the 2 words that start with K. Remember, movement jolts the brain for better alertness. So you will see words and characters and illustrations moving on or across the screen to get your attention and your focus. Here is the first presentation on cards with borders. So let's talk about what we see. We have Kudos K, which means approval or praise. He's holding up a trophy and a ribbon. He's won a prize. On the right, we have Knave K, which means dishonest or trickery. He's playing cards, but he's got a card stuffed in his pocket, so he's probably cheating. So we give a yummy sticker to the yummy word and a yucky sticker to the yucky word. Now let's just look at the illustration of K and look at our 4 choices. We have kindness, kudos, knockout, keenness. Answer, of course, is kudos, which means approval or praise. Here's our arrow to make the connection between the illustration and the label. The next illustration shows us the letter K with the person playing cards. Is he keen, kempt, knave, or kind? He is knave, which means, of course, that he is dishonest or tricky. And we have the arrow to make that connection. We move on to the ones that begin with the letter L. We have laudable L. Oh, lugubrious L is very difficult to pronounce. So let's say that again, lugubrious L. Laudable L means praiseworthy. He's got his hands above his head. He's got first prize around his neck. Done something great. Lugubrious L is miserable and gloomy. He's leaning against a rock and he's not moving very well and he's got a frown on his face. So we give a yummy sticker to the yummy word and a yucky sticker to the yucky word. Now let's move on to the illustration. There's our letter L with his hands above his head. Is he likable, laudable, loud, or lively? The answer, of course, is laudable, because laudable means praiseworthy. And our arrow makes that connection. The next illustration shows someone leaning against a rock. Is he lawless, lazy, maybe, lonely, maybe, lugubrious? Lugubrious is the answer, because lugubrious is miserable or gloomy, and he definitely is miserable. And our arrow makes the connection. Here's the larger screen with larger print. This helps people who need a different color contrast. First we have the flavor, in this case the sun, then the word in larger print, which is kudos. There is movement of these letters forming a cartwheel, which is considered a positive movement, and then here we have the definition, approval or praise, in a different color. And at the very last we have the illustration. So kudos means approval or praise. Now we'll go to a yucky word, and this yucky word is knave. And because negative people puff up, we have our negative words puffing up. Here comes the definition, dishonest or tricky. That puffs up also, and then we have the picture of the person cheating at cards. Back to a yummy word, we have the word laudable, and we have movement, and here comes the definition, praiseworthy, and we have movement again, and then of course the illustration. After that is the yucky word. Yucky word here is lugubrious. Lugubrious means miserable or gloomy. And the illustration for that is the person leaning against the rock with a sad look on his face. Now for comic relief. Here we have inane eye ready to show us how to have a distraction, something humorous, a riddle. So here comes the riddle. What begins with an E and only contains one letter? Again, the question is, what begins with an E and only contains one letter? I don't know of a word that is like that. So here comes the answer. Of course, it's a play on words. It's an envelope. Humor helps the brain relax. So anytime that you can put humor into anything, you've helped your brain. And now let's look at the words that begin with the letter M. On the right we have malingering M. On the left we have magnanimous M. So let's take a closer look. Magnanimous M means charitable or generous. The person is sharing his money. The one on the right, malingering M, is faking illness to avoid work. Notice that the fingers are crossed, indicating that he is not being truthful. So we give a yummy sticker to the yummy word and a yucky sticker to the yucky word. Next we look at the illustration. Here we have the illustration of the M leaning against the bed with the fingers crossed. Is that majestic, malingering, mild, or meek? Answer, of course, is malingering, because malingering means faking illness to avoid work. Make the connection between the word and the picture. Next we have the other illustration. This illustration is the picture of the letter M throwing money up in the air. Is that magnanimous, miserable, misleading, or mild? The answer is, of course, magnanimous, because magnanimous means charitable or generous. And we have the arrow to make the connection. Now let's move on to the words that begin with the letter N. First word is novel N, and the second is nefarious N. Nefarious N has a picture of a witch. The meaning of the word is sinful or wicked. Novel N has a picture of an infant or a child, and the definition is fresh and different. So we give a yummy sticker to the yummy word and a yucky sticker to the yucky word. Now for the illustration. We begin with the illustration of the infant. Is it novel, naughty, noble, or nutty? The answer, of course, is novel, because novel N means fresh and different. And we have the arrow to make the connection. The second illustration is the illustration of the witch. What is she? Is she nerdy, noble, nefarious, or needy? Her title is nefarious, because nefarious means sinful or wicked. The arrow makes the connection between the word and the illustration. Now going to our large picture. With the big screen, we have a different color combination. This is a yucky word. The word is malingering. Malingering is considered a negative connotation, so it's puffs up. The definition, faking illness to avoid work, also puffs up. And then we have the illustration of the person who's pretending to be sick. Next we have the yummy word, and the yummy word here is magnanimous. Magnanimous means charitable or generous. And we have the illustration of the person sharing their money. Next we have another yummy word, and that yummy word is novel. And novel means fresh or different. And the picture that goes with that is the picture of the infant. The yucky word that begins with the letter N is nefarious. Nefarious puffs up, and here comes the definition, sinful or wicked. And our illustration is the picture of the witch. Now for comic relief. We have Ihsan I doing his trick, and here comes the riddle. What building has the most stories? I know the tallest building in the world. I wonder if that's the answer. Question is, what building has the most stories? Here comes the answer. A library. The two words that begin with the letter O are odious O and ornate O. Ornate O is our yummy word. It means elaborately decorated. The lady is decked out with a fancy hat and with jewelry. Odious O, on the other hand, is disgusting and hateful. His armpits and his belly button are filthy and dirty. So we give a yummy sticker to the yummy word and a yucky sticker to the yucky word. The illustration that comes up first is the illustration of the lady in the hat. Is she optimistic, ornate, observant, or orderly? She is ornate, of course, because that means elaborately decorated, and we have the arrow to make the connection. Next we have the illustration of the yucky word, which is this gentleman. Is he ordinary, overloaded, outgoing, or odious? The answer, of course, is odious, because odious means hateful or disgusting. And we have the arrow to make that connection. So to the big screen, we now have the yummy symbol of the sun and the word ornate in larger print. Ornate is doing a cartwheel, and here comes the definition, elaborately decorated. And with that, we have the illustration of the lady in the fancy hat with the jewelry. Our yucky symbol, the cloud, comes in with the word odious. Odious means hateful or disgusting. Both are puffed up, and here comes our odious O. Now Noggin is going to help us look at our words in groups. So we're going to start with the Yummies first, of which we have 5. Thank you, Noggin. This is Kudos K, the first word. He's getting awards. Laudable L is worthy of praise. Magnanimous M, very generous and considerate and loves to share money. N is novel, indifferent. O is ornate, very fashionably decorated. Those are our yummy words. Now, let's move on to our group of yucky words. We have, again, the same number, 5 of them. And those 5 are Knave K. There he is. He is tricky and sneaky, playing cards there. Lugubrious, someone who is gloomy and miserable, leaning up against a rock. Malingering M is faking his illness so he doesn't have to go to work. His fingers are crossed so he's not telling the truth. And Nefarious N is a wicked witch. She's just evil. And Odious O is disgusting because whatever he has in his armpits, it doesn't look like it should be there. Oh boy, comic relief. This helps reset our brain. So here comes the riddle. What part of the chicken has the most feathers? Of course, there's always a trick in the question, so we have to examine that thoroughly. Repeat, what part of the chicken has the most feathers? Okay, let's see if you've gotten the right answer. Here it comes. The outside, naturally. So humor allows us to relax. So let's move back to the outside and go to quick review. I love quick review. I don't know why, maybe because it goes a little bit faster. Let's see. Here we are. Ready? Get set. Go. N. Novel N, which means fresh or different. O. Ornate O. Elaborately decorated. L. Laudable L, which means praiseworthy. M is now getting bigger. Magnanimous M, meaning charitable or generous. K. Kudos K, and the meaning is approval or praise. Those are the yummy words. Now let's keep going. Thanks, Noggin, to the yucky words. We have N, Nefarious N, meaning sinful or wicked. We have K, Knave K, means dishonest or tricky. O, Odious O, which means hateful or disgusting. And M, Malingering M, meaning faking illness to avoid work. L, Lugubrious L, meaning miserable or gloomy. And those are our yucky words. Now on to our test. Noggin points out that taking a test is optional, but it's good for the brain as an exercise. So he's going to give us our instructions. We're going to pause the video, number a paper from 1 to 10, set a timer for 5 minutes or less because it won't take you very long. And then you're going to move to the next page, which has the test on it, and pause the video again while you take the test. And then begin the video again to the next page, which will have the answers. So here we go. I'm going to take the test. And here are our answers. Great job. Check your answers, and if you need to review, you can always go back to the beginning of the video and start over, or just repeat parts of the video that you need help with. And now for a Noggin Nugget. We've learned all these words and we need to hang on to them, and we need to use them. So as Noggin points out, we should see it, say it, write it, and share it. And I agree with Noggin, because if we don't use it, we will lose it. And there is a creative way to use it. It's called wow. which means you're going to take the words you learned and apply them in everyday life. Number one, you can give a compliment to someone by telling them they were magnanimous, or someone else, kudos to you, or that was a novel idea, thank you very much. And then you bring sunshine into their life and make them feel yummy. Or you can take the yucky words and give a suggestion. By putting the word less in front of something, you can make it a positive word. So let's be less odious today, or I think we need to be less lugubrious, or no malingering. Not at all. Thank you very much. And as we give that suggestion, we can move on to our next video. Watch for the next video with the next 10 words beginning with the letters P through T. P is parsimonious P, stingy, and T is tranquil T, peaceful or serene. So watch for those. This is Ms. Mack on behalf of Character of America Productions. Thank you very much for watching, and remember, never stop learning.